Ooh, look at this right here. This is video from Tuesday night when some parts of the area saw more than 5 inches of rain.
Yeah,
a lot
the
of
flash
rain.
flooding caused all kinds of problems, including cars that got caught in deep water. One of our questions today relates to that.
Yeah, it does. Peter Fink returns from Certified Transmission. Good morning, Peter.
Nice to see you.
Good morning. Always a great time to be here.
All your stuff was spared during those storms, your property, everything,
all
people.
my stuff, Amanda's home got destroyed because it was up in Fort Calhoun and the hail up there. Actually, I've never seen this before, but hail went through the roof.
Oh my
gosh. And unfortunately, they got ceilings inside the house that have collapsed because of it,
She's
the water
okay,
damage.
the
Well, she's in California, and permanent out there for the baby deal, and
For
stuff.
the baby deal.
Yeah, and so her husband and me and the family's dealing with that or whatever and stuff.
For those of you who don't know, Peter's talking about his daughter, so we're glad they're safe at least.
All right, let's get to some viewer questions. The first one, this one's from Sherry, and she asks, what should I do for my car and summer driving?
You know, this question comes up quite a lot, obviously, through summer and getting ready for summer. To me, I always start with any kind of repair or any time we talk about anything is safety. So tires, having the right air pressure in it. As it gets hotter, the tires will, if they're not inflated properly, will overheat, and then you can get a blowout. And needless to say, with a blowout, control is a little difficult, and some people can lose control and roll over, and things like, you know, from several years ago, we heard about underinflated tires on Explorers, and stuff, all right? So tires. Next is now to keep the engine cool, and stuff, and we've talked about this, Antifreeze, a lot of people think of for the winter time, but actually in the summertime, it helps to cool your car that it can raise the temperature that it doesn't boil over, So the right antifreeze, if you didn't change it for the winter, good time to do it is a flush system, putting a cleaner in it ahead of time to clean it. Are those just a bag of goods and snake oil or something? No, the cleaners really do work, It's a good idea. Flush the system, put in the half and half antifreeze, and you'll be good to go for 2-3 years, and you won't have to do it for the winter time. Cleaning out the radiator and the condenser makes the air conditioner and the radiator more efficient, and stuff. Those are usually the biggest thing. Of course, for our own comfort, the air conditioner. Make sure that's working, Otherwise, it gets pretty miserable.
Right now, it's not that bad.
That's right.
Another few weeks or a month.
It's coming, exactly.
Right, Pauline,
and the fan belts.
Sorry.
Yep. Nope, I'm done.
Okay. Sorry. Pauline writes to us, and we'll get to this question. She says, my husband's car leaked fluid onto our driveway. We're working on the source of the leak, but I'm curious to know what you'd recommend for cleaning up the spot on the driveway. It's not coming off.
Yeah, I've got a spot in my garage too. So
you know, it is common. Cars unfortunately do leak, That's the nature of the beast a little bit. The best thing and the cheapest thing I found is using kitty litter, Get a bag of kitty litter, 5 pounds, put it down. Now, it don't come up in 5 minutes, but you leave it down for 2, 3, 4 days. You walk it in, sweep it in a little bit, just leave it there out there. Not when it's going to rain, that it washes away, and then clean it up several days later, and it's amazing. It will pull almost all the oil stain out and stuff, And for $1 or $2, I mean, it's probably the cheapest thing that you can get. So kitty litter is what we use a lot of times at the shop or out in the parking lot when we get a car that made a mess, That's what we use also.
And it doesn't matter what would have caused it. It sounds like she doesn't know.
That is correct. It doesn't matter if it's transmission or power steering or engine oil or antifreeze or any of that. Kitty litter seems to help.
We make a number of products just for that, but you recommend kitty litter? Yeah.
Kitty litter is the cheapest, and truthfully it works, and you don't have to do anything to it other than put it down and just let it do its magic.
That's a great tip, Peter.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yep. Here's our last question. This comes from Paul. With all the rain and flooding we had, I was wondering how much damage floodwaters do to a car. Is it ever possible to repair vehicles that have been sitting in standing water?
Well, that's a great question, and as the lead into it, with all the rain that we did have and stuff, water is not good for a car, needless to say. The general rule of thumb is if you've gone through something that's about to the bottom of the floorboards, roughly around 6-7 inches, it can get water into the transmission or the differential if you have a rear-wheel drive, or a four-wheel drive. You want to get them to the shop and have them checked. They can check and see if there's water in there. If there isn't, you're good to go. If there is, you do want to change the fluids. Now, if you've got into deeper water and it's actually got inside the car, general rule of thumb that I'm going to say is if it just got the carpets wet, you're probably still okay, all right? Want to check those fluids on the differential in the transmission, transfer case, okay, if it's a four-wheel drive vehicle. But if it gets much above and it starts going up to almost the seat level inside your car, you better call your insurance company, okay, and stuff, because you will have trouble with the wiring down the road, and for sure if it ever got up into the dash, which is up over the seats, okay, by then the car's totaled, you can't really fix it. I recommend not to buy one that's like that. Okay,
yeah, I was wondering if it's worth issuing sort of a word of caution to people who are on the market, whether the damage happened here or someplace else. I mean, sometimes those lemons end up back on a lot someplace.
Yes, they do. They're on auctions, okay, and you hear about floods. Now, the good news is fresh water like we have around here, okay, isn't near as bad as if you're on one of the coasts or by around the ocean with salt water. Salt water is by far horrible. It will destroy a car and the wiring inside. The fresh water will maybe take a couple of years to show up or longer, okay, so fresh water by sure is, but I mean, general rule of thumb is if it got up to the seats, I mean, it's time to call the insurance company and forget about it. If it's just got your carpets wet a little bit, you'll be okay. Get the windows down, a fan in there, dry it out and stuff. Check those.
It's just remarkable how fast it all
you're
goes.
talking about going through standing water. That's not because sometimes the water will pool on the sides of the roads.
Right.
And you'll drive through and you get those big
You can't
dovetails.
tell how deep it is. It's amazing. I know sometimes you go in and man, it wants to pull
when
you
you're talking
and
about
jerk you
boat
and everything.
rescues in some parts of the city, when
well,
those
cars,
firefighters needed.
if they use boat rescue, chances are you better be calling your insurance company.
Now you know,
So,
right? That's a good rule. So certifiedtransmission.com, that's the website where you can learn more about Peter's business, which he started many moons ago. 5 locations here in our area. If you're having a transmission problem, it's free to get it looked at, and you can make appointments online at omaha.certifiedtransmission.com. Peter Fink, thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Always a great time.
We'll see you
And
soon.
did you know you can submit your own questions for Peter and the other experts at Certified? Head to our website, it's omahamorningblend.com, and click on the Certified Transmission tile. That's how Sherry got her question to us today. Or you're welcome to post questions on our Facebook page.